Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a CaitVi Listener by me. So let's get into it. The aftermath of the fight still hung in the air, thick and heavy like the smoke from a Zonite factory. You sat on the edge of the bed, rolling your aching shoulder with a wince, trying to ignore the lingering sting in your chest, both from the bruises and the words Caitlyn had thrown at you in your fight. She hadn't meant to hurt you. You knew that. But knowing that didn't make it hurt any less. Vi leaned against the doorframe, her arms crossed, and her soft eyes flicking between you and Caitlyn, who stood stiffly by the window, her back to the both of you. The tension in the room was suffocating, and Vi finally decides to break the silence. All right. I'm gonna say it since neither of you will. This is stupid. Caitlyn turned slightly. Vi. No, you're both being idiots. Vi pushed out the door and walked towards you, crouching so she was eye level. You okay, babe? Her voice softened, the tough front cracking just enough for you to feel the concern beneath it. You sighed. I'll live. You avoided looking at Caitlyn, not trusting yourself to meet her gaze without breaking. And Vi exhaled through her nose, before glancing back at Caitlyn. And you? You're just gonna stand there all night? Caitlyn tensed, her fingers tightening around her own arms. I don't know what you want me to say. Vi gave her an incredulous look. How about I'm sorry for punching the person I love in the ribs? That might be a start. Caitlyn flinched at that. She really didn't want to do any of this. She didn't mean to. And finally, she fully turned towards you. Her blue eyes, usually piercing and clear, were clouded with regret. But the hurt lingered, clashing with guilt in a way that made her jaw tighten. I didn't mean to hurt you. Caitlyn said quietly, and you sighed, rubbing your temple. I know, Caitlyn, but that doesn't change the fact that you did. The fight had been utterly stupid, just a disagreement during a mission, and words turned heated. And before either of you realized it, instincts had taken over. You weren't sure who threw the first punch, but Caitlyn had been the one to land the solid hit to your ribs, before she registered who she was fighting. The moment her fist connected, everything stopped. Her face went pale, and you stumbled back, both of you frozen in horror. And now, hours later, the pain was more emotional than physical. I just reacted, Caitlyn continued, voice strained. I was in the moment, and I didn't. She sobbed herself, shaking her head, as if disgusted with her own lack of control. She should be better than this. And Vi sighed, and ran a hand through her messy pink hair. Kate, you're a sharpshooter. You don't just react. That's not fair. Caitlyn's voice rose, defensive. No, what's not fair is you shutting down instead of fixing this. Wine's sitting here hurting, and you're standing there acting like you're the one who got hit. Caitlyn's lips pressed into a thin line, but she didn't argue. Vi was right. She just didn't know how to face it. And so she took a deep breath and turned back to you, her shoulders sagging slightly. I apologize. I should have controlled myself. I should have done better. Her voice was quieter now, and truly sorry. And you swallowed, the fights replaying in your mind, the way her eyes had gone cold in the moment, and the way they widened with horror the second she realized. I didn't expect that from you. You admitted, and Caitlyn inhaled sharply, as if you had physically struck her this time. Neither did I. And Vi placed a hand on your knee, grounding you before she turned to Caitlyn. Look, you messed up. We all do. It'll be fine. She glanced back at you. Do you want to talk this out? Or do you need space? You hesitated, stealing a glance at Caitlyn. Her normally proud stance had crumpled into something fragile, and even now, knowing she had hurt you, she looked more broken by it than you did. I want to talk, he said finally, and relief flickered across Caitlyn's face, and she took a cautious step forward. I lost control, and that scares me. I've spent so much time trying to prove I'm better than the enforcers before me, that I can be trusted to protect people. To protect you. And then I went and did the exact opposite. Vi let out a low whistle, looking away. Damn, that's a lot of self-loathing packed into one sentence. Caitlyn shot her a glare, but Vi just smirked before gesturing towards you. And Ryan? What do you need from her? You exhaled, considering. I need to know it won't happen again. Caitlyn nodded, stepping closer until she was right in front of you, and she hesitated before slowly lowering herself to sit on the floor between your legs, looking up at you with a sincerity that made your chest ache. I swear to you, I will never let it happen again. I'd rather break my own fingers than lay another hand on you in anger. Your breath hitched, and you searched her face, looking for any hint of uncertainty, but all you saw was raw, unfiltered emotion. And finally, you nodded. Okay. Great. Vi clapped. Now, can we get some ice for those ribs before you start making out? I know I look tough, but I've got a delicate heart, and I don't want to be third-wheeling in my own relationship. You chuckled, the tension in the room finally breaking, and Caitlyn let out a soft sigh, shaking her head while Vi smirked. Caitlyn squeezed your hands once before standing and brushing her lips against your forehead. I'll get the ice. And Vi slung an arm around your shoulders, careful of your injuries. See? Nothing a little tough love and good old-fashioned communication can't fix. You're annoyingly good at this. It comes with being the oldest sibling. I had to break up fights a lot. And as Caitlyn returned, pressing a cold compress gently against your side with tender hands, you felt the weight of the fight start to lift. It would take time, but you weren't alone in this. The three of you had faced worse, and come out much stronger.